Okay. So now we're here to talk about women objectification. So, women objectification. First, we need to analyze what's an object. So, an object is, by definition, is a non-living thing. Basically, a non-living thing. So, you can't call a human an
Mhm.
object because it's living. It's not a material in the sense it not can be used for an advantage or any kind of one purpose use. Okay, so in
Mhm.
in Buddhism, the human life is actually valuable because it can reach enlightenment, not any other object can. So it's actually given more regard than a normal object.
Yeah. Also, women also, but some of the teachings declare women as not as good as men.
Yeah.
But like as I just read it, I guess, and Buddha was I think it was his teaching, and he was saying that they can also achieve it, just like men. They can also become arhants and maybe Buddhas. I don't know. So maybe the woman you're objectifying is a future Buddha, which would make the situation really bad for you.
So women can reach enlightenment, but they should be born in a, so the bodhisattvas can't be women. They should be all men. So like the previous birth, the a woman can be a Buddha, but previous births, all of them should be men. As in like in a human, they should be men.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but a woman is still highly regarded in Buddhism compared to an object or animal because the woman can understand Dharma and reach at least the first step of Nirvana. Basically, they can become a Buddha just like men. So e- they're somewhat equally regarded, but somewhat lowly regarded in Buddhism since they can't be a bodhisattva. But that's just out of the topic. So to treat a woman as an object is to say that to reach the ability to reach enlightenment as the ability to not to reach enlightenment because objects can't reach enlightenment. So the fundamental key of Buddhism to reach enlightenment is downgraded, which is wrong in Buddhism. Hence, linking everything out, women objectification in Buddhism is heavily discouraged and not is disliked upon.
Yeah, I mean, well, are we talking about the objectification in a sexual way or like in general, like doing the laundry, like the kitchen work, or just in a specific topic, like objectifying women as sexual objects or something?
So objectification can happen in many degrees. So sexual objectification and just normal objectification, where some people just say, "Oh, women are not just sexual objects. They could be a washing machine or a laundry mat or something." So which is also wrong. So you're limiting the woman's purpose into one thing, and really, a washing machine could do a better job than a woman in washing clothes, but women should be appreciated into the thing which they can only do is to give emotions, feelings, and have this human part in them which any of the objects can't do. So objectification is equalizing an object and a woman, like particularly. So it's all kinds of objectification, sexual objectification, just normal objectification overall.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying before we started the like recording. It's wrong, obviously, since like there is a living being, which also, I mean, I don't know if we can sure about this, but we believe that they also have mind. Anyone else, not just women. So anyone with a potentiality with like going something different than the current situation is, and like objectifying that being is, I think, I don't know what we can say anything else. Like we can talk about reasons, but it is like explaining a red object, the color of the red object, and trying to prove that the red object is red is the one you're talking to and trying to convince that the object is red must be able to perceive the color red, like to have must have the sight. So if he or she has a sight to see this, you don't need to like talk deeply about it. You just say this is the object and this is red, and then they say yes, this is red. So knowing that other people, so-called other people and women, they also have mind, and the mind can like evolve them into something quite different than the way they are right now. So putting boundaries, as you said, and like fixing its location in the mind map, I think, would be deeply wrong. That's what I think.
Yeah, also many times like women's objectification is not only good for the image of the woman but also men as well, because men fall into this thing where they say, like mostly in the younger generation, they think, oh, there's a pretty girl, I should like her and I should be her girlfriend. But overall, when that person just meets the person and he's not like in a relationship, you're not interacting with the person's beauty. But I guess it is true that you should be attracted to the woman to be in that place, but that doesn't mean everything is just her beauty, her sexiness, or her sexualizing, but also um a woman. So overall, in the long run, really, like if we ask our parents, like if you're 40 or 50, like they don't care about the sexual part of their wife. It's just the personality and the interaction, because the I guess only the sexual part of a woman applies when you're like young and when you're very immature and you're just exploring, and you're just exploring like sexuality, and you're just exploring sex overall. So I guess when you're like 30 years old, it's fair enough to like um gaze upon like a woman who's pretty, and but also don't go up to her and try to be her girlfriend just because she's pretty. Just make sure that her personality is also important as well. I guess it's uh, initially it's 50-50 if you're looking for a long relationship, but also you should appreciate and you should value the human part in them, what they can offer that no one else can. Like if you want to have sex, you could just um, hire a prostitute or just masturbate if you want, but a woman is much more. So you should, if you're getting a wife or a girlfriend, you should be able to like care about what she can give more than her beauty or her appearance or her sexuality. So that's the most part of what's more important, because that's the purpose of the girlfriend.
Yeah, but I think in it doesn't go away in 30s. I mean, I work in a hotel part time in reception, and I see many like men older than 30s, and they come with young ladies. Some of them might be prostitutes. I don't know, and I think anyway, like both of them is equally, not equally, but like similarly objectifying the woman. You objectify the woman by her personality, which is just like way her mind works, and her actions, the collection of her actions. And the other part is like objectifying her with the body parts and the uh, her ability to like offer you a sexual pleasure, which is maybe like the other one sounds higher than the like sexual one, but I mean, I think there isn't a way that you can be in a relationship without objectifying and then like beyond egos, because beyond egos you like you wouldn't in a relationship, it would be like and just part of the view in general and no one else. I think it would be all one. I don't know if I can I express it right, but I don't think beyond objectifying you can be with anyone, as there won't be anyone else without objectifying.
So really, what you said, I disagree with like the part you said men objectify women for their personality. But the thing is that the personality is attribute of a non-object of a woman. So really, you can't objectify someone for having something which an object can't do. So that's just breaks the definition of objectification. So valuing someone for their personality and everything is the opposite of objectification. That's humanizing because humans only can have personalities and attributes, not objects or anything, because objects don't have
But
mind.
what yeah, but what is the difference while imagine you have a girlfriend and you're talking with on WhatsApp or something and you have ChatGPT on your phone. I think ChatGPT is also capable of giving similar answers, just like your girlfriend, like kind, maybe loving, cute, warm. What will be the difference between ChatGPT and your girlfriend? Is ChatGPT an object or not?
So ChatGPT is an object, but the thing is that ChatGPT is like if you keep ChatGPT and have if you get fired from your job or anything, ChatGPT wouldn't care if you're asked to, but the girlfriend would care. So it's like that feeling, that emotion that ChatGPT does not have is what your girlfriend is giving you. So, but also the ChatGPT is Chat ChatGPT doesn't have a personality. You can ask ChatGPT to have a personality, but ChatGPT does not. ChatGPT can have different personalities to a different person, but personality by definition is like a uniqueness. So in that case, ChatGPT is just impersonating a personality, which is not having a personality overall, because personality should be unique. So uh, really, and also ChatGPT doesn't not have a face and it does not move. So it's really it's just if you understand.
Yeah, I get it, but like in maybe like a close future, it will have. And also, I mean, we also don't have fixed characteristics and personalities. I mean, I'm different with my mother, with my friends, with my teacher, etc.
Yeah, you
And then the
differently, but
the
chat.
thing is, uh,
Yeah.
what I think is that the only non-object, maybe I'm not, I can't say it's 100%, the only non-object thing within your experience of life might be just you, and everything else is the object that is being experienced. Yeah, you can like put a this like you can distinct put distinctions between live objects and like dead objects, but it it's just like an assumption of this is alive and this is that. Yeah, we can put some uh, I don't know how can I express it, like some, let me just use a translation real quick. Sorry about that. Some conditions of a thing to be alive, but it will be just like writing a game rules. Beyond that, I'm right now I'm an object for you. Even though in my experience, I have a mind, I'm an object for you right now. Which and like being talking through your headphones or like earpods.
Yeah, but also the fact that you have a mind makes you not an object. So
But you
definition.
assume that I have mind.
No, I don't assume that I know you have a mind. That's why you're talking to me.
But ChatGPT also talks to you. Does ChatGPT have a mind?
Yeah, but ChatGPT also, you can know the difference between AI and a human. I know the line would be thinner, but you could know the difference because ChatGPT does not have experience, and ChatGPT like have doesn't have like a cognitive thinking like you do. But it could be ChatGPT, but you are a human, you have a mind. So ChatGPT doesn't have a mind.
Like what I am saying is you decide on that based on some thoughts and uh, some conditions. But in like close feature ChatGPT, also I think I don't know if you're into AI and coding, but the way the structure of the AI, the machine learning, is very similar to the human brain. I think they just got the inspiration from the human mind, the human brains. So it works very close to our minds, and it might not be. I mean, we might not be able to create a mind as an AI, but it might get very close to a mind in the close future, and then we might talk about how. I mean, I usually think about it. How can I be sure about the other person's mind? I mean, if he or she has a mind, has a like uh, memories, has another life. For example, my mother was here in the house a few minutes ago, and then she left. Right now, in my experience, in my existence, she doesn't exist, despite being a memory. So she was just like I don't know, like the thing I saw the morning, and then moved away. And after a while, I couldn't see that, and then it was gone from my reality. It was just a memory in my mind, just like my mother is right now. So eventually, I think if we go beyond the patterns of the mind that thinks the other being is the other being, it's just you that exists and nothing else. And even that you is a thought. So all there is left is the existence itself.
So really, if you want to know whether someone has a mind or not, just do brain scan because the brain waves are a result of thoughts and feelings, which robots does not have.
Yeah, but I mean, brain is just like just a biological machine. It's some of the teachings say that brain is like the carve of the soul or mind uses brain as a tool to communicate with the body. But I mean, again, you will assume that through the brain scan, you solve that if the person has a mind or not. It's still an assumption. As long as you don't have the experience of the other people at the same time, not like afterwards, but at the same time, as long as you don't experience both yourself, the experience you have right now, and the other person's experience through his eyes, you will never be sure about if the existence of the other one. It will be, or he or she will be, is just the product of the mind, which is this idea has a place in Vedic teachings, I guess. In I'm not sure if it's a step in samadhi or like a step in sadhana in the way in general, but there is a point that you realize that you are the only thing that there is and nothing else. All the things you see is also you, product of your mind. So there isn't another one. And as you say, her, she, you, whatever, you already objectify something because it's. I mean, you said you humanize it, but in a level, like in my perspective, only thing that can be humanized is your own experience and your own mind.
So I thought we established that the definition of an object is living and non-living. So non-living is object, living is a human. Can so what's your definition of an object?
Well, I think anything can be, anything experienced is getting being experienced is an object. Even you and the mind is an object. I mean, it might be a like false claim, maybe, but like
Yeah,
I
but
see this as an equation, like a mathematical equation. You know, you just do the summing and like division, etc., and then there's the result, which we can call it a human or like a thought, whatever.
no, but you can't experience your alarm clock. You can't experience uh your table lamp. You can't experience your chair. That's the thing. You can't ex I guess, can you experience your chair? Can you have any experience with your
I
chair?
can't.
Huh?
I mean, besides sitting on it, and if you are a freak, you can do some silly things with your chair. But beyond that, no, I think not. You can't have an experience as a chair since you would not have like mind. I'm not sure, but it might be also. I mean, Vedic teachings they believe everything is made of consciousness. So there is also consciousness in the chair. So if you try hard enough, maybe you can have an experience as a chair
Wait,
in their
so
belief.
everything has a consciousness. Is that Theravada or Mahayana?
No, it's not. I mean, if I don't know if Mahayana has it or Theravada has it, but it's from Indian philosophies perspective.
So what's experiencing?
I couldn't get it. What is experiencing? You asked.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great question. Let me think about it. I think it's like being in it as it. Like I'm experiencing through Tariq, which is the name they gave to the body and like the mind in general. I am having an that I is also doesn't exist in a way, but I am having an experience as Tariq and experiencing the world with which Tariq is living. So if I would be experiencing as the chair, then I would experience the surrounding of the chair as the experience if I am the chair. Because since I am the chair, I will not be able to experience the chair itself. Because like I will be the chair, so I will experience anything but the chair.
So do you need to interact with someone, something to be that thing to be part of your experience?
I think to have an experience, you there must be you and not you to be perceived and like they divide it into three. There is the seer, which is you, the consciousness. There is the seeing, the action, and there is the thing that is being seen, which is the object. The Trinity, they say for this. So
Say that again.
you can you experience you're having an experience as like yourself. So that's the first one, and you are seeing something, which the seeing itself is the second one, the action, the karma, and the third one is the object that is being seen. So this is the definition of the maybe experiencing
So
the Trinity. And if you
to experience, do you think you need to interact with the object or not?
Well, if seeing is interaction, yeah, you need to if you want to experience something.
So as in, if I'm seeing, if I'm seeing my chair and I'm not, the chair isn't doing anything back or giving any feedback, can the chair be part of my experience?
Yeah, since you see you like there is something that you can say as chair, you can call or refer to as chair. So it means that it is part of your experience. If it wouldn't, then you wouldn't have an idea about it.
So I was thinking, if you said in my subjective, in the way I think experience, you can't experience an inanimate object. You need the you need the object to respond or interact with you. So in that case, I can't have experience with a chair, but I can have experience with a human, because the human is giving me feedback and interacting as well. For example, a
Chair
dog.
also, yeah, I mean, the chair also gives a feedback to you. You can feel the chair on your hips. You might smell it if you sit on it for quite long. You can touch it. You can see it. Maybe you can also taste it. So you can do everything that you're able to do with the girlfriend. That's I think that's what Buddha was talking about. The difference you create within your mind, like the difference between girlfriend and chair is just a thought. Because like there are people who has sexual thoughts about any object, like as your definition, the object that doesn't contain life in it. They feel sexual thoughts about towards them. So I think the difference is made in the mind.
Yeah, but
So you can experience have
the
an
feeling,
experience with it, and you can have feedbacks. What?
the feeling of me feeling the chair is not a response given by the chair. That's just me feeling myself. So I was hoping for the chair to give me a response back, which the chair isn't giving me a
No,
response back. That's the
I
point.
mean, if you imagine that you put the chair in some position which it will fall
Yeah.
in a few minutes, or like somebody else did it,
Yeah.
or chair itself maybe just like getting broken and broken over time,
Yeah.
and it's just like broken into pieces, and it makes a sound,
Yeah.
and it's that sound reminds you of a word, maybe like clear, the word clear. It sounds like that. Would it be a response from the like feedback from the chair to you? I think yes.
I think not, because it's not the chair which is breaking itself, it's the wind and everything. So it's a combination of things which is making the chair fall. For example,
Yes.
if the girl is slapping me, then it's the girl itself who's slapping me. So it's a response from the girl. So the chair can't give response because the chair does not have a mind. The chair can't reach enlightenment. That's not Buddhism.
Yeah, of course, but what I'm saying is, I mean, we must have we have, it's useful to have conditions to make distinctions. But in truth, the difference between like my cat is like laying down on my table right now, and I mean, the thing you said was right. It it doesn't uh, give us feedback by its own. The conditions make it to like create or like make the sound clear. It doesn't just decide to say clear and says clear. But I think in a like deep Buddhistic perspective, we also do the same. What I am expressing comes from the mind and like from the subconscious, from past experiences, from the like conditions right now. So it's a little more complicated than the case with the chair, but it's kind of similar also. Yeah, there are more parameters about my like expressions,
But the
but it's
Buddhism
just
says
like the same.
you can't be reincarnated into a chair because the chair doesn't have a mind. So the mind is the thing which gives response in Buddhism. So the chair can't give a response because it can't think for itself because it does not have a mind. So I don't know where a chair and me would be similar. Can you please explain it?
No, not you. The, the other yous, but not you in your experience. I mean, right now I am very similar to with a chair for you right now. Because I mean, even though you think that I have a mind and you can reincarnate or like have a rebirth as me, but I think it's still an assumption. Assumption. You will never be able to be sure about that. I have a mind. I have a like soul, if you believe in it. I have past lives. I am another entity that exists. As right now, I'm just a voice that talks to you towards your like maybe speakers or like earpods. Nothing else.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You
You
give
might be.
response. You give response by yourself without thinking. But ChatGPT or any AI can't think for itself because it doesn't have the mind. So really speaking, it's just it doesn't give a response. It doesn't create a response. It gives a response from its coding from what it's been taught. So it's not creating something new out of thin air. That's the difference between AI and the human brain.
Yes, that's not. I mean, I agree on that. What I'm saying is, the only mind that is present in the experience is your mind right now for you. Yeah, you might think that I have a mind and like say new things without the like, background coding, but I mean, how can you be so sure about it? I might be a robot which that like came from future or something else.
But that's the thing.
That's the
My
thing.
mind is your mind and my mind is interacting with each other. But I don't know whether you're robots from the future or not because my mind is not capable of interacting with your mind directly until through voice. But if you do have a mind, our minds are interacting with each other. So it's not the problem whether it's interacting or not. But if you are a robot, you're still giving feedback. Not you're not creating feedback, you're giving feedback because you're just giving what you've been taught. You're not creating something, you're not thinking for yourself. That's the difference between a human and an inanimate object. So the new argument is what's it you're saying a human mind, having a human mind and having not a human mind is not is completely the same. So what's the reasoning behind it?
What I'm saying is, the human mind is just a more complicated way of existing. Because I mean, even the idea that there are some objects that doesn't have mind or that does have mind is still a thought, just like self-thought.
Yeah, and objects can't have a thought, so that's also the thing. So an object can't have a thought thinking. The human mind is object. So having thought is something by definition is something which. So if you think object is something which is by definition, if your definition of an object is something which is existing, that's true because just because there is similarities between an object and a human mind doesn't mean they have completely different differences. But the thing is that they have a lot of differences than similarities which make them different. But if you focus on the similarities, then you would find both of them similar. But that's not everything about the object and the human mind. The object and human mind has loads of characteristics which should be taken accountable in the same degree, which makes them different because of the differences they have.
Yeah, I agree on that. There are differences. What I'm saying is the differences is are between you and the objects. I don't say that your mind is just as same as your like computer or phone right now. What I'm saying is my mind uh, I mean, in your the idea that my mind exists is a thought, and it is useful to like be polite to each other, like to do kind thing, like do good deeds, and then like to love at least, knowing that it is also able to feel love, etc. But we must be able to know, not must, but we might be able to know that the other is not other. It's just a thought in your mind. It's just a, like seen in your mind, nothing else.
Yeah, it's either thought. That doesn't mean that
But
thought is not reality. So that
yes,
thought,
it is.
I mean, it's a thought. Really, everything we are thinking, everything we are talking is a thought. That doesn't mean it's not reality. So that doesn't like change the fact that the human mind and object is different from each other because they have different characteristics. Both are existing. In that sense, you can say, oh, both are objects, but that's just unfair because they have different characteristics which should be taken accountable altogether.
I mean, it fascinates me because even talking right now is also product of the mind. So the mind expresses itself, but the expression is not the mind, and then like it goes on like this. So I don't know if how I can go how I can put more details on this topic, the thing we are talking, because right now even talking about it makes my statement, like makes me stay away stand away from my statement, because if you know everything is a product of the mind, why are you here? Since if you are like, if you really understand it, then you would probably achieve nirvana, attain nirvana, and the realization. But what I'm saying, that is that I guess there is a point that you perceive everything as this, but it is not my case right now. So I agree on, I agree with you on the other things. What I was doing and I am doing is just to like point out to higher realization, and which I
So your definition, so your definition of women could be objectified in the sense that a woman is something which is existing. So if all existing things are are objects, does that not mean that our mind is also existing? So our mind is also an object. So everything is object. So what's not the object?
is there anything like you are asking what is not an object, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think anything that can be expressed and experienced is an object. So if I can, yeah, or is there anything to put as an answer, it would make it an object, since I was able to like somehow uh, have it in my mind or in my thoughts or like in my language at least. So it will make it an object if it can be expressed. I think that's why nirvana is something that cannot be talked about. Because if you talk about it, it will be again a product or like a state of mind, which is not, I guess. It's the state that the mind settles down and there is just pure existence. So what I think is talked about that can be seen, that can be heard, that can be felt, smell, anything is an object. But yes, we must not think about people as objects, because as I told, there are distinctions and they are useful. But what I'm saying is to like think while after you meditate, and then if when you see your mother doing something and she needs help, don't think like she's an object, I don't need to help her or something. You can go back to the thought that yeah, she is also and living being, and like she's not an object, etc. But I think
So you're saying
it's like
anything. So you're
plug
saying.
in
So you're
theater.
so you're saying anything that can be expressed is an object. So
Yes,
how can you express a vacuum cleaner or a table lamp?
yeah, just like you did. You express vacuum as saying like vacuum.
Yeah, but how is so anything that can be expressed? So by that definition, you can objectify a woman, but the thing is that but different people express themselves, different objects express themselves as um, different. The expression is different, so a object has a limited way of expressing themselves as a human. Human can express themselves in many various ways, so it would be illogical to just reduce one way one the human to an object just because it can express. If you know, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that. I mean, as I told you, I agree on that. People can express themselves. They have somehow they feel like they are just like us, just like me. For example, you make me feel like you're just like me, who has a mind, who has like maybe personalized some, who can meditate, who can get enlightened. But it's still a thought in my mind, and it is very useful for our relationship, for me to be able to live on this earth. What I'm saying is, this is let's say this is the X part of the realization. You know it, but you cannot apply it as long as you don't like go to nirvana and like never come back, which there will be you to apply. But right now what I'm saying is you shouldn't objectify women. Yes, you must keep thinking that they are also beings just like you, but in truth what you see is still a product of your mind.
So you said you shouldn't objectify women. Why not objectify women when they are also an object, just as existing? So why shouldn't we objectify women?
As the thing is, I also had thoughts like this. My answer to myself was that like Tariq is an idea, is just like like the woman. It is an idea in my mind too. And if I objectify anyone as an entity, like who has a name, who feels like they exist, I will also objectify Tariq too. If I think like they're just just the product of my mind, so I can do anything I want to them. But Tariq is also a product of my mind. So it means that Tariq is also worthless. So whatever I do to the other, so-called other, I will also have this thing in my mind that says yes, you can do it to Tariq too, since it is also an experience and product of the mind. That's why you shouldn't objectify anyone else, because anyone that you objectify is part of you. Like it is, maybe you can say it is your mind. So if you objectify it, you will objectify yourself too.
But didn't you tell yourself is also an object? So objectifying an object, is there anything wrong with objectifying an object?
There might be if you are like if you have a if you get depressed easily, I guess. Thinking like, am I an object? If you didn't like erase that idea of I and self, it might create some trouble for you.
No, but according to your philosophy, what's wrong with objectifying yourself, objectifying your mind?
Well, there isn't right or wrong. It's just practicality. Is it practical for me to objectify myself? At this point, it's not,
Why?
and it might be in the future.
At this point, why it's not practical to objectify your mind?
because I still have the boundaries that sometimes I still think that I am the mind. And if I think that I am the mind, and if I objectify the mind, which will, we said that objectifying is putting boundaries, right? I mean, the woman must do laundries, etc. So you put boundaries to women that they should only do laundries. So if I put boundaries in my mind, and if I one day if I think that I am the mind, I will be succused, like, let me translate it also. Succused, I guess. Yes, I would be squeezed in the mind because the boundaries I just drew will squeeze me in the mind, and it would be hard for me to get off it.
So in the same
So,
expect,
but
we so objectifying a woman, limiting the woman into one particular thing is wrong because there's a woman is much more than that. So that would be downgrading a woman, and putting boundaries on a woman is wrong because you're um, treating the other aspects of a woman as they are non-existing while they are existing. So which means they should be also be regarded and not be limited.
yes, because there is also the thing that you might there might they like even though right now I'm a product of your mind, I might also exist as a separate entity. So there is also a possibility of that. Like you don't have all the knowledge as far as I know, and I don't have all the knowledge. So there is a possibility for me right now is that you are also another entity that exists.
So
So
we will come to a
there are two
conclusion.
things.
We will come to a conclusion of the podcast. Don't
Yeah.
objectify women because you would be limiting a woman into one thing, which means that you're neglecting the other perspectives, other characteristics, and other attributes of a woman when they're also existing and when they also should be regarded. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.